Nux Taku is a total weirdo freak. He was outed a couple months ago as so because when the Ava Tyson Mr. Beast controversy blew up, part of what started that was that Ava Tyson had a piece of art from Shadman, and Shadman's a total creep, drew pictures of Keemstar's child daughter, you know, very, very weird, creepy guy. And Nux Taku, it was revealed, had DM conversations with Shadman by his own admission, and there's screenshots of him asking Shadman to collab. Shadman shut him down. Even Shadman was like, "Look, this Nux Taku guy, he's beneath me." And Nux Taku's fans are just as weird as him. I've done videos talking crap about lots of different people. Nux Taku fans are the weirdest. They're by far the weirdest. They're worse than the Anthony Cumia fans, the Destiny fans. They're insane. Absolute weirdos. And this guy here, Nautil Niemy, is no exception. He uploaded this video, Harmfull Opinions, easy trash talk YouTuber. And Harmfull Opinions is this guy here. He and Nick Andros made a very good video about what a weirdo Nux Taku was, somewhere in here, and really exposed how much of an association Nux Taku had with Shadman. So a lot of the Nux Taku anime fans hate him. They really do not like him, and I think that's mostly what motivated him to do this video, where he went live and talked for 14 minutes about how much he does not like Harmfull Opinions, the easy trash talk YouTuber. And this guy doesn't have a huge audience or anything. He has 18 subscribers with 47 videos, which is not a great ratio. Having more videos than subscribers, that's rough. I mean, it happens to a lot of people that start out, but you want to get past that. So this guy, Nautil Niemy, he calls out Harmfull Opinions, and Chud Logic watches the video, and he gets this Nautil Niemy guy to come on stream and talk to him for a little bit, and then also they later call Harmfull Opinions in, and they have a debate.
Hello. It's me, Mikołaj Nieprawicz. That's my artistic pseudonym. I'm also known as Nautil Niemy on YouTube channel. And I sometimes write creepypastas for Polish audience into multiple channels on Polish YouTube site. So
okay, I'm very interested to get some more of your perspective on this. I guess the best place to start is you did get something just plain wrong, and that's that Harmfull Opinions didn't make videos about Vosh, right?
Yeah, probably because
Yeah, one of this guy's criticisms was that, oh, how can you talk about Nux Taku for being a weirdo creep guy, but you didn't talk about Vosh being a weirdo creep guy? And Harmfull Opinions did. He has video about the Vosh situation on his channel, publicly visible. But this guy just went with that argument in his video rather than take 2 seconds to just go to Harmfull Opinions channel and search Vosh. You can search people's channels if you're on desktop.
I just gathered very few intel on those matters, and probably those videos are not correctly researched.
I see. Okay, so your research process is leaves a bit to be desired. Let's put it that way.
Well, I just talk on my channel about what I want and what I think is right, but
Okay.
You can't be bothered to put any effort into updating that. Well, this would be nice for my argument if it was this way, so as long as I don't know otherwise, I'm going with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I appreciate you got quite a small channel, so it's
Don't worry, man. I have like, let's say 7 hours of free time right now to spare.
Okay. We probably won't need that long, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, look. Okay, there's probably at the end of the day.
He says okay to that too. I was like, is it just a language sort of thing or whatever. But he says, I only have 7 hours, and the show's like, well, we won't need that. He's like, oh, okay, good. I just wanted to put that out there. I wasn't sure if 7 hours would be enough to talk about this 14-minute video I made.
I do think that some people, have got some sort of takes about Lolly, and I generally speaking have got quite a negative view of it. I understand people got different views. The thing for me though is, if you look at an image that is a drawing of a child and you're sexually aroused by that, do you not think that speaks to some potential sexual interest you may have in children?
Well, it might speak to sexual interest, but as long as you don't harm a child or consume like the porn, which is like camera feed, and you see the child gets raped, you don't cross the line here.
Okay. So I'm not talking about like legal, because the thing is, the reason, obviously, I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, he basically said, as long as it's not like live action with a real child, he doesn't have a problem with it.
We would make that sort of behavior illegal, is because a child is getting harmed.
Even if, because what Chud asked him is if you are aroused by it, and that's what he said. That's how he replied. As long as it's not an actual literal child, that doesn't say anything of significance about anybody.
Yes,
right?
Precisely.
So we need to prevent that from happening. We do that by making it illegal, right?
Yes.
So in my position, I'm not saying that drawing like a random image of a child is in and of itself harming a child, but I'm saying that you, as the consumer of that,
it can fuel the desire.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I think. Yeah.
What you are getting at, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, but keep in mind that from my point of view, I just am what in Poland is called mangoziew. Mangoziew is basically a weebu. A weebu is like an otaku in Japan, or a nerd, basically, who is into manga and anime.
Okay.
So mangoziew means a manga reader who is screwed in the head, basically, to translate this word freely. So
Okay.
yeah.
Because here's the thing. Maybe it's a language issue. Okay. But some of the things you were saying, you sounded a bit like what I would call a nonce, a bit like a pedo, right?
Like a retard.
No, not a retard. Like, you said some pretty stuff, and I was like, God, is this guy like jerking it to Lolly himself? Is he like a kind of,
Well, to tell you the truth, Chud Logic, I appreciate beauty in lollies, but frankly, as long as they
He appreciates the beauty of lollies.
are drawn and the piece of paper, and I have like no problem with that.
Sorry. Just to be clear, when you say you appreciate the beauty of lollies, what does that mean exactly?
Well, the tiny proportions of the body and the slim silhouette, let's say. And
so he straight up says two childlike features, that's why he likes Lolly. He's just going on a public stream and saying this. These are the types of people that like to watch Nux Taku.
And but I mostly appreciate a good writing of character. If the character is written in the interesting way, I'm more into it. I'm just like a self-proclaimed writer by heart. So
okay, and this is actually quite interesting. So when you're looking at like a Lolly character, what are you looking for in terms of writing? What would it kind of attract you to that?
Okay. So let's ask several questions. What is the background of this character? What is a desire of this character or motivation in the story? What is the conflict for this character, and how this character could evolve into something more when it already is at the beginning of the story? That's what's interesting to me.
Okay, because when you say you like the kind of the look and the silhouette of a Lolly character, I just wonder if there's any themes that would play on sort of a pedophilic desire that you might like about a Lolly character.
God, man. Let's say that all weeboos are a little bit, screwed in some way to get aroused by Lolly, let's say. But as long as this is fiction, there is no harm in that. Granted, the desire could be fueled to do something.
These types of people, they always go back, oh, there's no harm. There's no harm that comes from it. Okay. I don't agree with that at all, because like this guy admitted, it kind of can fuel people's desires. They can start out maybe, oh, this is okay, it's just a drawing, and then that, sends them down the path to complete freakdom.
Irresponsible and against the law, but as long as you keep yourself in check, then you are.
Yeah, they'll just go back to, oh, it's not against the law. There's no actual harm. No, 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 that's not true. And also, a lot of the times we're bringing it up to say, well, this person is a total freak that we should write off and not be part of polite society.
Not like basically a full-fledged pedophile, let's say.
Okay. By the way, I've just got one more thing I just want to inquire about that I'm interested in. Harmfull wants to join as well, if that's okay with you.
Come on, get him in, get him in.
Okay, I'll get him in now. Right, give me a second, I'll add him, okay? Now look, obviously I think, me and Harmfull probably agree on most stuff, and it's kind of you on the other side, so I don't want to turn this into a dog pile, okay? So I'll chip in where necessary, but I want to give you a shot to kind of hash it out as necessary, so... I mean...
So, hello, Harmfull Opinions. I did a video about you not that long ago.
Oh, I can't hear you, Harmfull.
I don't hear his voice. He's talking, but
real
I don't
quick.
hear his voice.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully Harmfull can fix that. I don't know what's going on there. The thing I wanted to ask you is, do you not see an issue or a concern, say, if it's not a completely fictionalized character, but it is like a cartoon or a drawing based on a real person? Do you not think that's a concern?
It's a controversial. Well, it can be controversial, and if you want to draw a child which exists in real life, so to say, you should ask a permission. In Poland, there is a law that no one can.
If you want to draw a child in this way, you should ask permission. Well, I would assume that has to be the parents' permission. How insane! What an absurd thing! Whether you're asking the child or the adult, or the parent, I mean, like, how are you serious? I mean, I can't see his face, but how are you going to say that with what I would guess is a straight face from the way he's talking?
And film or make a video of you in public unless you are not you agree to it. So you need to have a permission from a normal citizen to let him film you.
So for you, that's a privacy issue.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Well, Chad, how can I else say it? The art should not be constrained. That's what I think. Like should be. The art shouldn't be constrained, but there are some aspects of how far an art can go to say make it stop. This is too much. Yeah.
Okay.
So you mean like if it's photorealistic or something?
Well, as long as it's like, even if it's photorealistic and you put like your skill into it, and there is no, and this is a fictional character, or even though drawn in realistic way, I don't see harm in that art.
So he says, even if somebody is looking at photorealistic drawings of drawn CSAM, that's fine. There's no harm from that. It's just alarming how many people go down this path and gravitate towards Nux Taku. It's concerning, very concerning.
What about a photorealistic pornographic drawing of a real child?
Oh God, that would be disgusting. But well, if
that to him though is disgusting. Just such a bizarre place where these people draw the line.
artist wants to draw it, I'm not gonna stop him unless it will be so inappropriate that nobody would want to watch it.
Okay, but would you not judge someone who is aroused by that? How would you feel about an individual intellect?
I'm not really a judging person.
Sounds like you were judging me.
Well,
right, yeah, he says, I'm not a judging person. We're here because you made a video judging harmful opinions. Like, what a cop-out.
Yeah,
So you'll judge someone's commentary, but not their interest in cartoons of children and how they get roused by that, even if hypothetically it were photorealistic.
So what's the harm in fiction? How can fiction harm you? Harmful opinions.
I don't care about the harm to the fiction. I think if you're into that shit, you're a freak.
Well, that's
yeah. Harmful opinions says, I don't care about the harm of the drawing. I care about what it says about you.
your point of view.
Potentially
Not
even dangerous
necessarily
if you are
everyone.
into photorealistic depictions of children that, to the naked eye, look like
I'm
child
not.
pornography.
Well, I'm
Your
not,
desires are clearly.
but I like my manga.
I'm not saying you are. It seemed like you wanted to have some sort of philosophical or ethical discourse.
I didn't expect it to this video to get any attention aside from 1 or 2 views.
Hey, you put.
So you just get to say whatever you want. He thought it wasn't gonna get attention. It's a very annoying thing small creators do. I say that's as a small creator, but if you talk shit about a bigger person and then you're upset when that other person or their fans have anything to say about you, it's very lame, right? I'm not gonna sit here and make 10 videos about D6 and then when he says I have darkness in my heart, or how could you say that about me, D6? How could you say that after I've been nothing but kind to you?
Out to the world. Aren't you happy? Wouldn't you want it to?
Well, maybe.
And you like discussing stuff like that, right? I've seen, like, even 3 years ago, you were talking about Shadman.
Yeah.
It's a topic you seem very interested in.
Well, not interested in like some major sense, but Shadman is an artist. He does what he does, and this is an artist. He shouldn't be constrained from my point of view. And
Okay.
if he draws something disgusting, the people have right to be repulsed by it, but the art should still exist.
Okay, I have to tell you, watching your video, a thought came to mind. You sort of laid out a few things, and one of them was the idea of, you know, if a kid isn't getting hurt, right, then you're not too worried about it. And you're saying now you don't want to be too judgmental. And you gave the example of if it's a cartoon, kid's not getting hurt. But if it's a real image of a child being abused, then that's bad. The image itself is bad.
Well,
what about?
Well, the implications of who made it an image and what it and when it took place reveal it's bad, because that is mostly against the law. Because if you see a broadcast of the
it's bad because it's against the law. Just a guy just refuses to talk in terms of morality, right? It's just the law and harm.
Camera and some underage kid is raped in the ass, let's say, then what are you currently doing? You are supporting the content creator of this video,
Sure.
and this is disgusting.
Yeah, that's very bad, and the image itself, the video itself existing is a severe violation of the privacy of a victim, and so on and so forth. What I'm interested in is there can be pictures of children that there are no problems with, that are not pornographic. I'm talking literally like your school photo of you just smiling, you know, to put in a photo frame in your house for your parents to see and remember. Oh, nice. There's nothing wrong inherently with those images. What do you think of someone who's aroused by an image like that and jerks off to it?
Well, if he wants to jerk off to my picture when I was a child and I'm currently 30 years old, then fuck it, I don't care.
You don't.
Right. Even if that's true and you wouldn't care about someone doing it to you, again, would that say anything about that person to you? Would you hang out and play Mario Kart with that guy at his house?
You don't feel anything about that person, and I'm not talking about you caring.
I don't feel repulsed by it. I don't feel well. To tell you the truth, the man who would jack off to my picture.
Not necessarily yours, just of a child. Non-pornographic. Non-pornographic images of children. They're into that.
Okay,
so the child hasn't been abused in the production of the image.
That's in my opinion a full-fledged pedophile, and it won't take long to make him commit a real crime. But as long as he doesn't go against the law and he is jacking off to pictures of childs which were not harmed but during taking a picture, this is his fucked up deal, not mine. And frankly, I would be disgusted. I would be repulsed. But
At this point, he would start becoming repulsed. Nothing before. None of that was gross or repulsive. You know, that's fine. But this is where he draws the line.
I don't know if I should be involved in these sick man fantasies.
What if it's made public? You become aware of it, or you seem fixated a bit on legality. Do you think it's right, for instance, to discriminate against someone in terms of employment? If they came out and said they jerk off to these pictures that are not child pornography, they make it known that they jerk off to just regular pictures of kids. Is it okay to discriminate against them in certain employment, for instance?
Okay, let's say that if you are a pedophile and you didn't commit yet crime, if that information is revealed, then you are fucked up. No, not fucked up, but fucked over. And the reason being is that people will be repulsed by you, and rightly so. So for someone like that to exist in society,
So he has sympathy there for the non-offending PDF. But he doesn't see any harm or care about any harm caused by his activities and proclivities.
when the
Okay, that's
information
wonderful.
gets
But
out,
how do
it
I
will
make
be a
money
very,
off depressed
like,
people?
you know, his life will be short. The light will be extinguished, let's say.
Do you think that's right?
Well, to tell you the truth,
Or make it less extreme. Like, let's say someone applies to work at a daycare and it comes out they jerk off to images of kids, not abuse images, just like school photos and stuff. Is it right to deny them that employment?
Probably yes. Probably yes.
What if someone is open about they like drawn images that are very, very realistic of kids and they get denied employment to let's say a daycare or babysitting or something? Is that good or bad? Or
Not
you don't
really.
care?
Not really. Not really.
Wait, not really one.
Well, to tell you the truth, we need to, let's say, back out and see what for you constitute as justice and law. Because keep in mind that law is primarily.
So he's asked, should somebody who's into that stuff, who watches that sort of stuff, be allowed to work at a daycare? And again, he's moving away from the question. He refuses to answer these sorts of questions.
Primarily exists to make order in society and exact this order in society. But there are.
He starts to get philosophical about laws, why and how they exist, rather than just answering the question.
So many examples of what you said, like examples of these gray areas, let's say. And if I was a father and I saw like a janitor who keeps a photo of my child and even worse, jack off to it, I would fucking smack him and beat him to a pulp. That would be my reaction, in all honesty.
Oh, 100%. What if it's not connected specifically to your kid? What if there's a janitor at the school who is really into like cartoons that are very clearly of sexualized kids, and it comes out that he's into
Well,
them?
I don't care. It's not my business.
You don't think there's any?
And then we're back to he just doesn't care. This world that these Nux Taku fans, that a lot of these anime fans exist in, is insane. Really, just they'll do anything they can to justify their sick interests.
Safeguarding implication? Like, would it be wrong? Like, if he got fired, would that be an injustice?
To tell you the truth, the justice is simple. The justice concept, for me at least, exists only to like facilitate a law. Let's say that everything what we know, the morals, the morality of men, the concept of justice is made up by people for people. And those concepts are pretty good if you want to have a healthy society. But remember, in the ancient times, the laws were much more brutal, like Hammurabi law, for example.
You're thinking Lex Talionis.
Yeah, eye for an eye, for example. And the more we progress in like society, the more we like living by those concepts like being just, being right, being moral, and so on and so forth. But in all honesty, we are just a bunch of wild animals. Let's say, just look out at Black Fridays in America.
Why does this happen every time? He is asked a question about this, just pontificating for paragraphs about what laws mean, why they're part of our, like, answer the question.
We are just animals. We are just dumb monkeys. In all honesty, I think we would take any reason to fight each other because we are partially like intelligent and let's say self-aware, but there is like more primitive side to us, like that of an animal.
Sorry, listen, I'm trying to not interject too much and let you two go at it, right? But, you know, to be very fair here, I'm not really hearing an answer to Harmful Opinions' question. Like, he just asked, do you think it would be acceptable to fire someone that consumed lolicon from a school if it was revealed? And you've gone on this long rambling answer. Like, what's going on? Should it not be simple?
Yeah, will it be, in your eyes, unjust for that person to be fired? Or if you have a problem with the term just, would you be upset by it or have a problem with it, personally?
Well, if someone is reading a manga about lolis, I don't care. It doesn't harm anybody, and that's it.
So you would...
And yet, you suggested earlier that it could have some implication regarding their desires, though.
Well, it could, but might as well could not. Because...
So just risk it.
Give me a minute. It all depends how depraved a man is and how his desire would evolve from reading a manga to some much more fucked up shit, let's say. It all depends on the human and his nature. If he wants to just read a manga and enjoy the story with lolis or not, what if he wants to go one step further, but the choice is up to him.
What if specifically this guy's super into all this hentai, this like janitor fucks loli at his school, teacher fucks loli at his school, and it's all like to do with people in positions of influence or authority at the school, and he is a teacher?
Well, that would be a little fucked up. to have a school when majority of...
A little fucked up. I mean, he has the hardest time on earth condemning any of this degeneracy. He's just... I mean, he is fine with just about anything you could give him in a hypothetical.
The heads in the, let's say, on the stanowiska, in the stuff in this could be like, you know, into that shit. That would be highly unlikely and highly uncommon.
What if there was, say, a teacher who came out or was found out to be really into that stuff, and they got fired? Would you be cool with them being fired, just as a safeguarding measure?
It won't change the desire of the man, mind you. It won't change, and in fact, it could create, like, you know, not only a resentment, but...
So all these other times he says, harm. Oh, there's no harm. There's no harm. But there's potential for harm here. And he doesn't talk about the harm. Like, he's so slippery. Just... Like, it seems like he understands how, like, how unpopular all of his opinions are, at least. But he's shameless about it.
You know, the even further need, in my opinion, because let's see what happens.
So better to leave them in a position of authority over children.
No. To my understanding, let's see how this is portrayed by your death penalty in USA. Notice that crime in USA doesn't really went nosedive when the death penalty was implemented. If anything, the criminals are more like determined, let's say, to to commit a crime, and they disregard their lives. So let's if there was a school full of people, teachers and scholars which will be into that shit, that would be at least concerning, at least. And what to do about it, it would depend on how this desire would evolve into something worse. Because if it gets...
You just gotta wait and see, he says. Even though you have serious reason to believe that this person wanted to be a teacher or daycare worker or whatever for the wrong reasons. Like, it's very safe to make that assumption if you know that these people are watching these sorts of things. He doesn't have a problem with it until they actually do something. Just no caution at all. Err on the side of kids getting hurt versus err on the side of some freak not being as bad as maybe we thought.
Out of control and evolve in something worse, have a big problem of child
Right, this is what watching Nux Taku does to a man.
abuse.
Right, okay, right. I'm trying not to jump in too much, but this is fucking crazy. So, you're saying that there's a chance it could, you know, increase out of control and essentially cause problems, right? Now, we've got a situation, this guy's at a school, and him, you know, having these desires further could mean he molests a child or something like that, okay? Right? So, surely, out of abundance of caution, you would say, get rid of the guy out of the school just to be on the safe side. That would surely be the answer you'd give to that, no?
Yes, but remember that
And then he says yes to that, even though everything he said made it seem like he would have said otherwise to that. But if that is his opinion, I give him the tiniest bit of credit for having the most obvious take ever. But I get the impression he's going to sort of walk that back.
doesn't fix the problem in this guy.
Well, no, we're not trying to fix the problem. We're trying to be, you know, considerate about keeping kids safe, right?
We need to, let's say, describe what the core of the problem is. And
Well, the core of this problem is this guy may want to fuck kids.
yeah, okay. So if he wants to fuck kids, well, shame on him. Shame on him.
So you do think pedophilia is bad, to be clear? Child abuse is bad, right? Excellent.
Of course.
I mean, you know, I think I'm going to know how Harmfull Opinions is going. I'll throw it back over to him in a sec. But, you know, it just seems to me like, you know, you are seeing here how even if they're fictionalized drawings, there are, of course, signs from looking at it that should potentially lead to real life consequence if they're around children. So this narrative that it's, you know, sure, it doesn't harm a kid to draw an image, but kids could potentially come to harm if this stuff is left kind of unchecked or unaddressed.
Yes, yes, yes.
In other words, the consideration of the material itself is separate from the consideration of the observer.
Okay, but I must say that it all depends on the human specimen, and the manga is not forbidden and should not be forbidden.
Manga is not forbidden and should not be forbidden. Oh, wow. That's a great line.
And it all depends on the human who wants to take this one step further. And this is a problem. The desire to be more depraved.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite interested. Sorry, just to throw it over to
Yeah, so then here he says it's only a problem if they try to take those desires further. It's like, so then why did you say that they should lose their job before?
Harmful, actually, to make it fair, okay? How do you respond to that concept or that idea of the free speech and like what should be kind of allowed broadly in your perspective?
Okay.
For Harmful Opinions, what do you
He's
think?
asking me. He's asking me. I've said this before. The material itself, when it's drawn, I find it very hard to justify making something someone could create with a pencil and a piece of paper in their room alone illegal to produce or own when it's just an image. If you want to sort of outside take, if you want me to do what our Polish friend has suggested, maybe it's valuable to have this stuff available so that it can function as a red flag and a sign if someone's into it. What do you think about that? It's better to know.
Well, if someone buys, let's say, an erotic manga, and let's say that this activity is registered by some invigilation system, which would be present not that long ago in Poland before 1989, that's a fun fact history. Then what are you currently doing to
Throwing in fun facts for us in the middle of this conversation.
to this man? This man could lose his job, okay, but would that prevent him to go even step further? If
Depends on the job.
To my understanding, he will be even more desperate. You're putting a pin on the man who did not yet commit a crime, and you make him desperate, and you will cause not only harm to him, but you know it can be also, you know, the starting point of evolving his depravity, because right now,
I mean, he is just, won't somebody please think of the weirdos with drawn CSAM on their computers and stuff? Like, won't somebody think of them? Speak up for them. Like, what are you doing, bro?
now he
Can I just get clear on this idea? So let's take the hypothetical of there's someone in a position of authority over vulnerable
And he'll put his face out there and say these things.
people, so children. There's a teacher. He's consuming a bunch of
Like a lot of these weirdos are like Nux Taku, and they just have some cartoon avatar or whatever. They're not really trying to show their faces like that. But this guy just face cam says this stuff. Not on this debate here. They tried, but his internet was too bad. It was like killing Discord. So just have this beautiful picture, thanks to the AI, really helped me out with that and made it look. I mean, you can't even really tell. That just looks like straight from the video.
Fictional material, so no child was harmed in the production of the material, but that involves fantasies about having sex with children. You're suggesting that should he be fired as a matter of safeguarding, he might find that, oh, my life's over, so what does it matter now? I might as well go out and rape a kid.
Yes, that could be the case.
So it's safer to leave someone in a position of authority over children.
As long as he himself doesn't go overboard.
Yeah, but how do you know the point at which he's gone overboard?
Yeah, so right here, he is straight up saying they should not be fired until they go overboard. Fully insane.
Is the point at which he's already abused a child.
Yeah.
So just wait until that happens.
Okay, harmful opinions. Do policemen prevent suicides or slasher attacks, or they arrive at the scene of the crime when the crime was committed?
They arrive as soon as they have reason to believe something bad might happen, right? The Howard Stern, some fan called into the Howard Stern show while he was on some bridge. He was about to jump off, and some policemen go and show up and talk him down from it. Like, yeah, he didn't actually attempt to end his life yet, but the police still showed up and tried to prevent a problem. It's just not even a good analogy at all. It doesn't support his point.
Have to come afterwards, because typically there's not going to be a huge sign. Sometimes when there is, they'll try to stop a suicide. But I'm suggesting that we have a sign here in this hypothetical.
Well,
and a sign, an example where we're talking about vulnerable people with an individual having authority over them. So a specific exceptional circumstance.
Well, the teacher. Well, this is a hard part, generally speaking, because the teacher who is into manga might be
not just into manga. Let's say specifically manga stories that are about adults having sex with children.
Okay. Well. Well, to tell you the truth, I would give a damn unless something happened. And you can
just wait and see.
What?
Just wait and see.
Like, I just don't understand how you can say this sort of stuff. Like, what do you think people are gonna think of you if you say this? Does he live around people who he can tell this to them and they're like, oh, that's Nautil Niemy for you. Always getting up to shenanigans like that. You know, he's got some weird tastes, but what are you gonna do? Like, how do you just confidently say this stuff as if people are supposed to not just fully think you're a disgusting freak they want nothing to do with afterwards?
If something happens?
Yes, because to tell you the truth, the law doesn't resolve every problem in society. You should leave some space for normal citizen to not be restricted by let's say restrictions, and you know, if you are let's say putting a pin on the citizens, let's say, then the more restrictions you give, you start to be to lead a country which is in full dictatorship almost. Like,
really, it's a dictatorship if you make this one exception where we're gonna err on the side of abundance of caution if we have really any meaningful reason to think that this person might want to do something inappropriate with kids at their job. I mean, everything I'm saying is just like, yeah, no duh, no duh. Shouldn't even need to be said, but like this guy's opinions are fully unhinged.
you know, the citizen has very little to do. He basically is like with even less rights to than previously. So, in my opinion, as long as this teacher does not commit a crime, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, frankly speaking.
Is it not only should nothing be done, but he just doesn't even care. Like, oh yeah, they're just doing their thing. That's their business. Like, just repeating myself, but what the hell? How do you get to the point where not only you think this way, but you just have no problem saying it and having it tied to your face?
Only applies when he does want to go overboard and he commits the abuse act. Then he should be taken care of. And that's my statement, basically. It's a very difficult statement because I know what you mean, harmful opinions. You know, you want to.
It's a very difficult statement, but I mean, seems like it's been pretty easy for him to say that sort of stuff the entire time here. He doesn't seem to have much difficulty with it at all.
Prevent any possible option for from manifesting into being a pedophile. But frankly, that's not exactly what a law and society is. You cannot forbid everything in fear of,
Not everything. This one specific thing. I get what you were saying if it was about other potential crimes. But this one's pretty key.
to in fear of something happening. Shit happens. Shit happens. And as long as society and law exist, this shit will happen. And if you want to like prevent every crime, prevent every like possible negative outcome in the society, it's almost impossible.
Okay, but hang on a sec. Hang on.
Highly
Sorry.
impossible.
But the thing is, it's all about risk and reward. So, for example, a child playing in a park carries a risk with it. They could fall over, hurt themselves, harm themselves, cause an injury, have to go to hospital. But there's lots of positive benefits: socialization, exercise, and so on. Okay. Whereas
And
with your example, if a
and
teacher is
don't
jerking
get
off the
crazy.
fucking lolly, the benefit is their own perverse pleasure, and that's it. And maybe this argument about freedom versus the risk of a child potentially getting harmed or hurt if that person is allowed to stay in that position. And I think broadly as a society, we say, well, look, okay, there's some limitation to freedom you could possibly argue, but I think the risk of the child getting hurt overwhelms that, and we should put the child's welfare at the forefront of that conversation. And that's why, in that situation, the teacher
Okay,
would have to
so
go.
imagine that.
Like, just this guy is so unhinged that these sorts of things actually need to be said. It's just- in just about any other context, it'd be like, yeah, no shit. Who are you saying this for? But when this guy's around, it needs to be said.
The situation that kid will pull a prank on the teacher, for example, and sneak into his desk, let's say an erotic magazine or something like that, and then tells his parents. And what's they gonna do with this teacher? They will fire him. He won't be able to take.
What if a kid plants some suspect magazine in the teacher's desk and then tells their parents? So for some reason, then he's worried about potential harm to the teacher, but he's never worried about potential harm to the students.
His like teacher job, and probably he will be working at warehouses at best.
So sorry, just to clarify, you're saying that a child could plant lolicon material on the teacher?
No. Erotic magazine, let's say. Erotic magazine.
Okay.
Like, Chud just said, wait. You think that this whole unhinged thing? And he's like, no. Orange, not yellow. But otherwise, yes, I'm 100% on what you said is true. But the man's car was orange, not yellow.
That's all that needs. In that restricted situation when
Right.
a child, by a prank, by a like stupid prank,
Well-
will pull something like that on the teacher because he gave or she gave him a bad grade, for example, or make him angry in some
Well,
way.
just to be clear, right? I would advocate for a full investigative process to establish the facts
Yes.
of the matter. So I would hope
Yes.
that the school would carry out an investigation and they wouldn't just
but-
immediately fire him without any notice. So investigative
but-
matters are important in this too.
Yeah, but keep in mind that there is also an aspect of other people knowing about it. Let's see what is in Japan. In Japan, for example.
Well, okay,
if
what
you
has
are-
Japan got to do with any of this? I feel like you're going off on another tangent. And
No,
listen,
no,
Harmful
no.
seems to be okay with that, but I'm not. I'm bored of it. What's Japan? Who cares about Japan, bro? They're all pedos over there, aren't they?
Ah.
Sorry, please continue. Go on.
Okay, so if you watch in Japan, let's say if you are convicted of murder, even if you didn't do you didn't do this, then the society it turns back on you. You cannot get a decent job. You cannot socialize with people. You are becoming over there basically homeless, and that's not by the law, but by the behavior of society over there. Yes.
Okay, but so sorry.
That's nice.
Bravo opinions. Go on, please. If you've got something to say to that.
Oh, I'm just saying that's nice. Thanks for the story.
Look, this is. No, I don't want to turn this into a dog pile. It's just like, look. Obviously, people can be wrongly accused or convicted or whatever of crimes, and that is a problem, and that's a flaw in the investigative process that we should pursue a pathway to improving. We should always try and improve ourselves at investigating crimes. We've done it for fucking centuries. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So in that instance of this, someone planting it on the teacher, I agree with you that there's a potential risk that someone could be unreasonably fired. I think there should be an investigative process, and that's going to be flawed. And some people may end up losing their jobs unfairly, but that is then as a consequence of actions which are designed primarily to keep kids as safe as possible at school. I think that's a fair trade-off.
Okay.
And consider, you were going off on the whole thing about, oh, it's leading to a dictatorship or whatever. This is a very narrowly defined area, right? People with authority over children. That's why I'd say it's justifiable.
Okay.
Because let's say that person does do something, and then, wait, we saw these red flags the whole time, and we let it get to that point. Is that not wrong?
Well, this is a hard part, harmful opinions, because,
None of this should be the hard part. These should be the easiest questions ever. Just blow through all of these, no problem.
do you want exact
Because it is unironically on the level of PDF's bad. That's where we are right now.
a law which forbids for consuming fictional erotic material, or do you want do you want
I didn't realize when I was editing this, but it looks like Chud keeps nuzzling Harmfull Opinions and Nautil Niemy from from time to time, just little shoulder nuzzles.
to do this, or do you want to do something else which will work?
I think a normal person recognizes that as a red flag. I don't think law is necessarily needed.
So am I to understand that you want to exact a self-proclaimed justice over this man?
I think it's a reasonable cause for safeguarding measures to come into effect for someone who's in the role of a teacher. And I think it's just so clear and obvious. Like, even you recognize that enjoying such material could be an indicator of those sort of appetites. I think in that case,
Like, even you, a complete PDF freak, can acknowledge a tiny aspect of this.
someone with authority over children, you can't be in that position anymore.
Yeah, that would be your opinion. And frankly, I must.
I think it's the opinion of people who don't have pieces missing.
Don't give me a minute. And I thought about this a little bit, and in some aspects, I must agree that if something like that information would leak out about certain teacher, this will be a huge red flag to be cautious around him, at least cautious, at least. So that's your opinion.
Wrong words. You should be at least cautious around people with these interests and evidence on their hard drives.
I can respect that. And what
Why are you talking about respect?
What?
I'm just curious why you're talking about respect. Gotta tell you, man, I felt pretty disrespected by your video, not because of what you said, but you're right. I am an easy shit talk YouTuber, but even I will take 5 seconds. If I'm gonna do a whataboutism, if I'm gonna say, why did this guy talk about this but not that? I'm gonna take 2 seconds to fucking search to see if he actually did talk about it first. That was fucking embarrassing.
He's talking about, again, how Nautil said, how could you dare disparage Nux Taku's name when you didn't even talk about Vosh? Well, I did, you absolute worthless bum.
Yeah, probably.
Do you feel embarrassed? He did talk about it first. That was fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, probably.
Do you feel embarrassed?
Not really. Not really.
Can you feel?
I mean, he genuinely has no shame. You're like, should I be embarrassed? Probably. But I'm not. I don't feel any shame about it. Sure. Would have taken me 4.5 seconds of research to not lie about you. But I couldn't be bothered. And I don't care.
embarrassed? Do you feel shame? Do you ever feel shame? I'm just curious because earlier you said you're sort of like a messed up manga enjoyer. You said something about being messed up.
Well, I might have exaggerated a little bit.
Okay, let's get to the video itself, because obviously, this particular thing was about Harmfull Opinions takes on Nux Taku. I guess as you made the claims in the video, Harmfull, what was your perspective on what he said about the Nux Taku stuff? It's a joke and so on. How would you respond to that?
Well, it was very strange because I gotta be honest, a lot of it didn't make sense to me. You brought up, oh, he's joking about something, and then your example was VTubers showing their feet, and I didn't get the relevance of that. You asked, oh, why did I bring up that Rule 34 Gura Gar thing, right? You were saying, what relevance does that have? Why I brought that up? Do you genuinely not know why I showed that Gura Rule 34 thing?
Okay, but you are at this point drawing conclusions, and conclusions are conclusions.
What the fuck are you talking about? What conclusion?
Well, the Go Gura has nothing to do with Nux Taku.
Did you actually watch my video?
Yeah.
Did you not understand that picture, that Gargura Rule 34, tagged with, forced oral sex, loli, whatever, he used that in a thumbnail?
And what's wrong about it? It's him being controversial.
You're saying what's wrong about it now, but you were saying there was no relevance of it. You're saying it had no connection to him.
They're just talking about a thumbnail that Nux Taku used that had, the type of material in question here on his thumbnail, because he does like reviews of porn essentially. Like, maybe you could argue it's soft core or on the edge or whatever, but that's a lot of what his content was.
Well, what is the connection in your opinion?
He used it in a thumbnail.
And that's only connection?
What other would there be? Do you think I was saying he fucking drew it?
No. I had nothing of that sort in mind. But you draw a parallels to a guy who is a certified troll and likes to screw with people. Nux Taku is just like that. He likes to brew a shitstorm in order to not only get views but also have fun with.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. What do you think about loli hentai, like Rule 34, being used to draw people in on a mixed age platform, on a general audience platform? What do you think that could lead to, especially if such behavior is engaged in repeatedly?
Okay.
Especially, so there's the Golgura thing, but there's also examples where you use thumbnails where it's like cropped hentai and cropped sexualized images of characters that will be popular with children, and it's on YouTube, and you can see in the comment sections that there are the people who are into it for the sex side, and kids who were drawn in by seeing it was a character from a children's IP talking together. That's kind of weird scenario, isn't it?
Well, I have to put it frankly, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, he's just like a terrible bad person is how, but how can you say you don't care if freaks who are into PDF stuff end up talking to kids? Because they are both attracted to the same videos. Frankly, I don't give a damn. That's actually what he just said.
Children's IP talking together. That's kind of weird scenario, isn't it?
Well, I have to put it frankly, I don't give a fuck.
About
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck. Frankly, he doesn't give a fuck.
what? Kids and people who are into porn and talking about porn hanging out together in what's effectively a chat room or a forum, the comment section.
Well, as long as they don't break a law, what are you gonna do about it?
You don't have any personal feelings about that.
I can be disgusted, I can be repulsed, but would that
You can, but are you?
change anything?
Not necessarily, but
Exactly.
what's wrong with having an opinion on it?
Well,
Because I mean, one way it could change something, right, is if somehow a person's behavior was modified as a result of the commentary on it, right? What if it stopped occurring? Or what if, for example, it inspired the person, whether through personal realization and thought or through some other sort of pressure? What if they went back and changed some things and didn't do it going forward?
well, that's a lot of maybes. That's a lot of maybes, and all comes down to human, like I said before, human specimen. So
Human specimen. This weird word. He said that earlier too, that same phrasing. I guess he is ESL, so maybe that's why he uses specimen, but it's kind of just a creepy word to use to talk about a person as a specimen.
Let's say that
Like,
I,
brother,
I
you're
am-
talking, what is it going to change? What's going to happen? Right? But then you talked about me. What kind of fucking influence do you think you're going to have on me?
well, none, of course.
And yet you did it.
Well, purely
So you do understand,
maybe
right?
out of spite because you get me angry, and that's all.
So none of this stuff, he doesn't care about any of it. But Harmful Opinions says Nux Taku is a weirdo, and that makes him angry. Fills him with spite. Just the worst the worst moral system possible.
So,
I get
well,
you angry,
yeah,
but it seems like anything related to people enjoying these sort of weirdo cartoons, you're saying you don't really feel anything about that.
no. So what?
I just find it interesting where your values lie.
Well, I'm an atheist and a nihilist by heart.
A nihilist.
But,
Yeah.
but wait, sorry, that
Nihilist watches too much Rick and Morty.
nihilism only goes so far because you made videos criticising Harmful Opinions, so you do care to that degree. It feels like a bit of a cop-out, no?
Yeah, maybe. Of course, I'm just only human. I can, let's say that. How to describe it? I try to be optimistic nihilist, by which I mean that I know that in the end nothing what I do or what everybody is doing will mean nothing, because soon I will be dead. But I try to, let's say, enjoy my limited time on Earth, and that's it. That's my view on this matter. I don't like, let's say, speaking about God, because God took away my parents at the very young age, and frankly, I just live.
Are we supposed to have sympathy for you for something that happened to you as a kid, or why are you bringing this up if you seem to be anti-sympathy for children?
From day to day in the gray reality, and that's all.
And like cartoons with little kids getting railed is a beam of sunshine in that darkness.
Not really.
To be fair, I think he mentioned enjoying the silhouettes of these lollies. I don't know if he goes hardcore with it, but I can't really speak to that. Okay?
Fair.
The silhouettes and the proportions.
Oh, okay. Anyway, look, I mean, I'm going to be going through it. Is there anything else to hash out here? Is there any other disagreements?
Now's your chance to shoot.
Well, I don't have any ammo at my pocket, so I will let you end without my ending speech, let's say. But to put it, what I might add, it was nice talking to you about this in this debate, let's say.
Yeah, it's been very refreshing how respectful it's all been. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
He was polite. I'll have to give him, he was polite.
well, I like to brew a shitstorm from time to time, but most of the time I try.
Generally, I don't really care about people politely breaking the law or advocating for it or doing horrible moral crimes, either one of those. But I guess it is better than doing that while being rude.
To be, not in full on rage, let's say.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm gonna be real, man. You were putting me to sleep, but thanks for letting me say hi.
Okay.
Okay,
Gentlemen.
maybe in the future I won't be doing that shitty videos on your Harmful Opinions, because yeah, it was bad research.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no. Okay, well, there we go. We've got that concession at least. Okay. Thank you for coming on, both of you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
See ya.
Catch you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was great. Wonderful, wonderful content. Just listening to a truly unhinged man justify his sick desires. I mean,
Hello.
that really is what this was. He just, he was pretty unapologetic too. I guess I give him that. He was unapologetically, politely a disgusting freak for about an hour long. And that was at 1.5x speed because it talked very, very slow. Mostly this guy, but also Chud a little bit. Harmfull talks at a normal cadence, but yeah, I was just really, it was about an hour of this weirdo justifying having whatever you want on your computer while you work whatever job you want. Like, I mean, it really does feel stupid after a while to argue against any of this because it's just so obvious. But he really did sit there for an hour and argue against it, just completely straight faced, happy to put his name and face on it. Crazy.